Chapter 956, Fiery Clash. If you don't want to hand over your wealth and draconic providence, you can choose to tell me where Zhao Feng is. Tai Lingyun's eyebrows furrowed, he was becoming impatient. This little world was preserved very well, and Shi Yulai was using his defensive inheritance sacred weapon to connect to its power and form a wall of defense. Even the elders of the Tai family couldn't do anything within a short amount of time. Staying here only wasted time for both sides. However, the Ninth Prince's group didn't really care about that since the chance of the Ninth Prince becoming the Crown Prince was almost impossible. The Fourth Prince was different though, he was the favorite to become the Crown Prince this time, and the other princes might even team up against him. Therefore, time was very precious to them. Senior Shen Chitsa, I believe that you can divine his location, Tai Lingyun said. Zhao Feng and Suan Yuanwen were the two people he wanted to defeat most in the imperial tombs. Apart from them, there was also Yu Tianao, who had the unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline. After another couple years, he would reach a level where everyone would have to take him seriously. You will know his location if you turn your head around, Shen Chitsa's old voice sounded from the other side of the wall. Turn my head around? Tai Lingyun didn't know what that meant, but the bloodline within his body suddenly started to tremble, and Tai Lingyun instantly turned around as if he had sensed something. A group of people outside the castle were rushing over. Zhao Feng. A glass-like red flame suddenly appeared around Tai Lingyun, and his battle intent surged. On the other side of the wall, Old Ying, the Ninth Prince, and Zhao Feng have all arrived. Su Qingling instantly sensed the situation outside. Great. Shi Yulai let out a breath. If this stalemate continued, he would be the first to lose. At the same time, Shi Yulai looked at Shen Chitsa. He is indeed worthy of being a divination master. He could even divine this? This was the biggest danger that they had met so far, but they still didn't need to use the array in their dragon jades. Shi Yulai had to admire this once famous elder of the Great Gon Lord dynasty. They had been trapped here by a group from the Fourth Prince's side, but now that everyone from the Ninth Prince's team was here, the tide would turn. They had the Fourth Prince's group surrounded from the front and back. Boom. Shi Yulai put away his defense. Tai Lingyun, don't rush, the red-haired elder messaged privately. Although they had one sacred lord and three quasi-sacred lords on their side, everyone from the Ninth Prince's team had arrived. There were 8 people in total, and the Ninth Prince could use draconic providence to increase his battle power. This was the unique point in this game. Princes would be the main targets when there were a lot of people around, but in a one group versus one group situation, princes were a super strong battle power. Furthermore, while the overall strength of an entire team might not be strong, they could work together and cover each other's weaknesses perfectly. Shi Yulai specialized in power and offense. Su Qingling's soul attacks were hard to defend against. Shen Chitsa was a mysterious array master. Now, there would also be the beasts of the beast tamer, and with the help of a doctor, the beasts could release limitless battle power endlessly. This was the power of a team. Even though the red-haired elder was a sacred lord, he didn't want to fight against a team like this. Zhao Feng, do you dare to fight me? Tai Lingyun ignored what the elder said and turned into a ball of fire that charged out. Everyone, watch out. Old Ying messaged everyone and went forward. Who tilde? Tai Lingyun looked in disgust at the other 5 people and laughed. Zhao Feng, what is it? You have the Blood Devil Sun bloodline, but you chose to become a beast tamer and hide behind others? Hearing this, Shi Yulai and Su Qingling paused for a moment. They had been wondering why Tai Lingyun was so interested in Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng had the Blood Devil Sun bloodline of the Tai family? What was going on? They immediately remembered the 2 people from the Tai family before the fights for the positions started. Everything made sense now. Old Ying had already told this to the Ninth Prince and Zhou Suer. All they did was give a complicated look toward Zhao Feng. Tai Lingyun, this isn't a place for single combat. This is the Crown Prince trial, Old Ying's voice sounded. They had the advantage right now, and they didn't need Zhao Feng to fight against Tai Lingyun in single combat. Fine, then we'll use the rules of the Crown Prince trial. Tai Lingyun's eyes became grim. Tell Zhao Feng to fight against me. If he wins, all the draconic providence within this dragon jade will be yours. Tai Lingyun shook the dragon jade on his belt. It was extremely bright and had the trace of a golden dragon. So much draconic providence. Old Ying's eyes twinkled as he sighed in his heart. The difference between the groups was enormous. Tai Lingyun's group most likely went for the inheritances of late-stage sacred lords in order to gather so much draconic providence. At this moment, the red-haired elder led the other two group members over. Behind them, Shen Qitsu's group maintained a certain distance. Old Ying and Jinkai immediately stepped forward and went on guard as they protected the ninth prince and Zhou Suer. Old Ying, getting surrounded by you is my mistake, but if we want to leave, you can't stop us. The red-haired elder had a nonchalant expression. Old Ying's eyes became grim as he looked at Tai Yunuo. That was indeed the case. All the ninth prince's team members were present. In a head-on fight, they weren't scared of this group from the fourth prince's team even if they were strong. However, if Tai Yunuo's group wanted to leave, could they even catch up? Even if someone on their side did manage to catch up, they would have left their team behind and definitely wouldn't be a match. How about we just do what Tai Lingyun suggests? Tell Zhao Feng to come out and use Draconic Providence as the bet. Tai Yunuo glanced at Zhao Feng's lightless dragon jade. He also wanted to see the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. Everyone from the ninth prince's team looked at Zhao Feng. Jinkai, the ninth prince, and Old Ying were confident in Zhao Feng facing Tai Lingyun. Zhao Feng had the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline, but he also specialized in Soul-Eye bloodline techniques, giving him an overwhelming advantage against Tai Lingyun. Tai Yunuo also obviously wanted to see this fight. He clearly didn't care about the Draconic Providence since Zhao Feng's Dragon Jade had zero light in it. Even if Zhao Feng lost, they wouldn't gain anything. This method is good. Zhao Feng stepped forward. The Tai family was constantly bothering him, and although he had spoken to Tai Hongnan about the issue before the fights for the positions, he knew that this issue hadn't come to an end yet. Those from the Tai family were arrogant and believed that they were the center of the world. Zhao Feng hadn't liked them for a long time now. Xu Yulai and Su Qingling both paused. The ninth prince and company didn't show any signs of rejecting this. Could it be that Zhao Feng's strength was enough to fight against the peerless prodigy of the Tai family? What did they miss? Ha ha ha. Good. The bloodline within Tai Lingyun's body started to burn, and a layer of glass-like fire spread across his body. He seemed to become a flaming sovereign of war and radiated a fiery hot battle intent. A wave of heat made the others present feel uncomfortable. The blood and true yuan within their bodies seemed to burn. Everyone instinctively moved back. Sacred lightning dominating body. Zhao Feng stepped forward, and his body grew taller and released a wave of golden blue lightning. Humph. You're not even going to use your bloodline? Tai Lingyun's eyes became cold and sharp. Zhao Feng's actions were humiliating him. Tang. Tai Lingyun leapt into the air, and the flames around his body suddenly expanded and turned into a ball of flame that shot fiercely toward Zhao Feng. Hu tilde. A pair of scarlet wings of lightning instantly appeared behind Zhao Feng's body. With a flash, a wave of lightning swept over and reduced Tai Lingyun's speed. Shu tilde. Zhao Feng's scarlet wings of lightning suddenly fluttered. Whoosh. Zhao Feng turned into a bolt of scarlet lightning and shot toward the glass-like ball of fire. Zhao Feng's action instantly broke Tai Lingyun's momentum, and the dominance he displayed gave him the upper hand. Boom. The scarlet lightning clashed with the red flames, and a loud explosion sounded. It was as if a meteor had crashed into the ground. Who? Tai Lingyun was forced back a couple steps and was stunned. Zhao Feng's physical body made him feel like he was hitting metal, and the ignition ability of his Blood Devil Sun bloodline was heavily reduced. Whoosh. While Zhao Feng retreated, he used the scarlet wings of lightning to stabilize himself. The defense of his sacred lightning body was extremely strong, but Tai Lingyun's explosive Blood Devil Sun bloodline allowed him to unleash explosive force even though he was at a disadvantage. The difference between a king and a quasi-sacred lord was extremely big. In the first exchange, Zhao Feng's blood boiled, and he felt his body go hot. On top of that, Zhao Feng felt that the explosiveness of Tai Lingyun's bloodline was not much different from his own perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. This meant that, while Tai Lingyun's bloodline wasn't considered perfect, it was still stronger than the normal Tai family bloodline. Tai Lingyun's control over it was also extremely good. Humph. Sacred lightning dominating punch. Zhao Feng circled around the opponent and unleashed the physical power within his sacred lightning body. His fists glowed with scarlet golden lightning and punched downward from the sky. Fist phantoms the size of mountains thundered toward Tai Lingyun. Blood Devil Charge. Tai Lingyun's eyes were cold as the glass-like flames around his body started to burn. It was as if he was bathing in fire and blood. His body started to turn into a bright transparent red color. Boom. The flames around Tai Lingyun's body exploded as he shot forward. The speed he displayed was 3 times as fast as before. He was like a blazing ball of lava. Even Zhao Feng paused for a moment. He instantly understood that this was a Blood Devil Sun bloodline secret technique of the Tai family. Ding. Bam. Bam. Tai Lingyun's spear was like a flaming dragon as it clashed against the scarlet fists of lightning. After using the Blood Devil charge, Tai Lingyun's explosive power became even stronger, and the ignition effect of the Blood Devil Sun bloodline also increased dramatically. Zhao Feng felt his body become fiery hot, and his Blood Devil Sun bloodline was about to be unleashed. Boom. A sandstone filled with fire and lightning engulfed the two figures. Loud explosions sounded in the air like thunder and resounded across heaven and earth. This brat cultivated such a profound body-strengthening technique. He's actually still able to fight back against Tai Lingyun after he has used the Blood Devil charge? Tai Yunuo's eyes flashed. So strong. As expected of Mas Zhao Feng. Jing Kai felt his blood boil. At this moment in time, Zhao Feng was on par with a genius from the Tai family. This is Zhao Feng? Shi Yulai's mouth fell open, and his eyes bulged out. A beast tamer didn't need such strong battle power, right? I didn't think that Zhao Feng had hidden himself this deeply. Su Kingling's cold expression changed for the first time. Boom. 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 After using the Blood Devil charge, Tai Lingyun's explosiveness couldn't be rivaled or stopped. Under the barrage of attacks, Zhao Feng was forced back. He was the one at a disadvantage. His sacred lightning body was turning bright red from the heat, and he had expended a lot of energy. The numbing effect and the power of his sacred lightning dominating punch wasn't very effective against the explosive Blood Devil Sun bloodline. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's fists blocked one of Tai Lingyun's attacks. A burning sensation appeared on his arm, and Zhao Feng used the scarlet wings of lightning to quickly retreat. A wicked smile formed on Zhao Feng's face. If you want to see it, then I'll let you see it. Who tilde? A bright red glass-like flame covered Zhao Feng's body. Zhao Feng seemed to be bathing in fire, and with the addition of his sacred lightning body, he seemed to become a flaming demonic sovereign. A forceful and scorching aura formed a surge of flames and shot out in every direction, increasing the temperature of this world. Chapter 957, Exchange between Bloodlines. A forceful and scorching aura spread out in every direction. The dark yellow sand was dyed with a bright red flame, and the temperature caused the air to become twisted like some kind of hellscape. When one looked from afar, it looked like there were 2 scorching suns releasing brilliant flames. Who tilde? The bloodline within Tai Lingyun's body started to tremble, and the glass-like flames on his body became weaker under the radiance of Zhao Feng's flames. However, this pressure only made him more excited. Behind Tai Lingyun, Tai Yunuo's bloodline also shook slightly and started to twitch, as if it was going to start burning as well. Perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. Tai Yunuo's eyes were fiery hot as he looked at the bright glass-like flames covering Zhao Feng's body. It was like the color of fresh blood, as if he was burning his life force to fight. This was the first time he had seen the perfect bloodline of the Tai family. If such a powerful bloodline could return to the Tai family. So, this is the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. The 2 next to Tai Yunuo obviously knew about this too, but they were still shocked when they saw the power of the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. The bloodlines within their bodies became hot and started to burn, and they had to circulate part of their true yuan to block it. The perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline was a terrifying combat bloodline that could be ranked within the top 10 Imperial Dao bloodlines. Old Ying and company who were behind Zhao Feng quickly retreated. Some of those with weaker bodies and cultivations, such as Zhou Suer and Su Qingling, felt their entire body become fiery, and they were unable to breathe. How is this possible? Zhao Feng's bloodline is even stronger than Tai Lingyun's. Shi Yulai was stunned, and a loud explosion sounded in his heart. Tai Lingyun had the strongest bloodline amongst the juniors of the Tai family. No one in the family was as talented as him. The explosive power that Tai Lingyun displayed left even Shi Yulai, who specialized in defense, unable to cope with it. However, Zhao Feng's Blood Devil Sun bloodline was faintly suppressing Tai Lingyun's. There was only one possibility. That's right, the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. Old Ying was stunned. This was his first time seeing the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline as well. This bloodline was a terrifying Imperial Dao bloodline that had almost become extinct. How is this possible? Su Qingling's face was filled with surprise, and she suddenly remembered what Zhao Feng said before the fights for the positions started. It was all true. Zhao Feng had the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. This was why an elder of the Tai family personally came to recruit him. The Zhao Feng who they all underestimated was on par with a peerless prodigy of the Tai family from the 4th Prince's team. As expected of Zhao Feng, the 9th Prince was extremely excited, and he felt waves coursing through his heart. The strength that Zhao Feng currently displayed surpassed anyone else in his team, and it was comparable to the main combat members of a top 5 Prince's team. Furthermore, Zhao Feng was also a beast tamer and could support the entire team. All of this had exceeded what the 9th Prince originally hoped for. Boom tilde. Tai Lingyun's faintly suppressed bloodline suddenly erupted, and the glass-like flames were unleashed as he released a force comparable to Zhao Feng's. Ha ha ha. Let me have a taste of this so-called perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. Tai Lingyun was filled with burning battle intent. Blood Devil Charge. Tai Lingyun used this skill once again and transformed into a ball of molten lava that radiated a pressure that could scare gods and ghosts alike. Humph. The perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline suppressed bloodlines that had a lower purity, making Zhao Feng feel like the difference in cultivation had shrunk. Hu tilde. Zhao Feng's scarlet wings of lightning, which were covered by the glass-like red flames, were like the wings of an immortal crow as it gave off crackles of lightning. Update by BoxNovel.com. Boom. Shu tilde. With the explosiveness of his bloodline, the lightning wings flying technique surpassed its limits. He was like a blazing fire as he flashed through the air and left behind blossoming flowers. Boom. Boom. Bam. They were both like meteorites that clashed against each another, creating a wave of fire that swept across heaven and earth like a tsunami. Hu tilde. The two figures quickly retreated as a forbidden fiery power exploded in the center. The ignition effect has been countered. Zhao Feng sensed this the instant they came into contact. Since their bloodlines came from the same origin, Zhao Feng's ignition effect was extremely unlikely to do anything to Tai Lingyun. It was similar to the moment when he had faced demonic Emperor Xuanluo's scorching demon spirit body. When Zhao Feng's flames were about to engulf Tai Lingyun's body, the glass-like flames on Tai Lingyun's body would extinguish them. The ignition effect from both sides was unable to be used. However, while the lifesteal ability of Zhao Feng's perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline also dropped dramatically, it was still useful, allowing Zhao Feng to recover at least some of his true yuan. Boom. Peng. Zhao Feng's fist of red lightning clashed against Tai Lingyun's flaming spear. The two extremely forceful powers caused lightning to howl and fire to surge every time the two clashed. They're on par with each another. The two quasi-sacred lords next to Tai Yunhuo had dazed expressions. Zhao Feng was only a king, but he had battle power comparable to Tai Lingyun? Even if he had the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline, he shouldn't be this strong, right? Zhao Feng is not simple. His true yuan is extremely powerful and pure, and it works perfectly with his Blood Devil Sun bloodline. Tai Yunhuo stared at Zhao Feng and didn't even blink his eyes. The quality of Zhao Feng's true yuan surpassed normal peak emperors. Boom. Bam. The defense and strength of Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body as well as the lifesteal effect of his perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline completely closed the gap in cultivation and the difference in true yuan quantity. Furthermore, under this pressure, Zhao Feng's Blood Devil Sun bloodline's potential was released, and he started to become more and more courageous as they fought. Hu tilde. Tai Lingyun's eyes were red as his battle intent surged into the sky. As someone from the Tai family, he obviously knew the characteristics of the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline very well. Therefore, Tai Lingyun burned his true yuan to increase the power of his bloodline so that he could counter the unique abilities of the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. Humph, I'll let you have a taste of the body strengthening technique that complements the Blood Devil Sun bloodline. After I defeat you, I will go and persuade Elder Hongnan that, no matter how strong a bloodline someone has, it's meaningless if they don't know how to use it properly. Tai Lingyun's power increased, and the glass-like flames on his body released a red jade-like glimmer, as if he had been reborn from flames. A surge of physical power also appeared. Boom. Hu tilde. Zhao Feng stood in the air, and his sacred lightning body instantly felt a wave of heat. Shu tilde. Both of their physical forces started to clash, creating explosions in the air. Bam. Who? Zhao Feng took a few steps back and was stunned. The unique body strengthening technique that Tai Lingyun was using right now perfectly complemented the Blood Devil Sun bloodline. It even managed to suppress his sacred lightning body in his perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. As he thought, the strength of the 8 big families wasn't to be underestimated. They understood a lot about their own bloodlines. I didn't think that Tai Lingyun would use the Scarlet Jade glass body this quickly. However, this means that the battle will end very soon. Tai Yunuo was stunned. One had to finish the fight as soon as they could against a user with the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. Zhao Feng's body strengthening technique had also exceeded Tai Yunuo's expectations as well, otherwise Tai Lingyun wouldn't have needed to use the Scarlet Jade glass body. The Scarlet Jade glass body was a supreme body strengthening technique that the ancestor of the Tai family had created. It worked perfected with the Blood Devil Sun bloodline, and it could release a power that could destroy heaven and earth. Such a heaven-defying skill obviously had its limitations as well. Overusing it for a prolonged period of time would harm the user's bloodline. Not good. It's the Scarlet Jade glass body, the supreme body strengthening technique of the Tai family. Old Ying's heart jumped. When this technique was used with the Blood Devil Sun bloodline, the strength of one's true Yuan, bloodline, and body would be several times stronger than usual. Zhao Feng had the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline, but he couldn't use it very well and had no technique to go with it. What Old Ying was truly puzzled about though was why Zhao Feng didn't use his Soul-Eye bloodline techniques. That was his forte. Sacred Lightning Protection. A barrier of lightning made of fire of wind lightning and the physical force of Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body appeared in front of him. At the same time, a bloodline power also poured into it, turning the color of the barrier red and making it burn. Lightning Wings Spatial Flash. Whoosh. Zhao Feng appeared in the sky, and his scarlet wings of lightning released a surge of golden flames that propelled him downward. Before his punch arrived, a scarlet-red wave had already exploded. The limitless physical pressure suppressed the spectators' bodies. Come. The glass-like flames around Tai Lingyun surged into the air as he looked up at Zhao Feng with battle intent. He wasn't scared of Zhao Feng's propelling force. Who? Tai Lingyun suddenly leapt into the air, and he seemed to become a scarlet-red jade dragon. Wherever he went, the air would burn. Boom. A brilliant red flame shot out and formed a firestorm that engulfed the two figures. Who? A scarlet arc of lightning flew out. What explosive power! Zhao Feng was forced back several hundred yards. His sacred lightning barrier was already shattered, and pain coursed through his body. The lightning on the surface of his sacred lightning body was about to flicker and fade away. The combination of Tai Lingyun's Scarlet Jade glass body and his Blood Devil Sun bloodline completely surpassed Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body, but luckily, Zhao Feng was able to use the lifesteal effect of his Blood Devil Sun bloodline to quickly recover his injuries. Who tilde? Tai Lingyun was thrown into the ground, and a burning sensation appeared across his body. Even his Scarlet Jade glass body couldn't cope with the counterattack caused by the destruction of Zhao Feng's sacred lightning protection. Zhao Feng used his flying technique and defensive abilities to take the damage of Tai Lingyun's attack head-on. Tai Yunuo nodded his head as he looked at Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's display of battle instincts wasn't weaker than some members of the Tai family. However, Tai Yunuo became completely dazed the next instant. That's the Blood Devil Charge. How does he know this bloodline secret technique of the Tai family? Tai Lingyun was also stunned. This was the Blood Devil Charge he had used at the beginning. The glass-like flames around Zhao Feng's body started to boil, and the sound of explosions could be heard. The image of a bright blood-red sun started to form behind Zhao Feng's back. In the center of it was a twisting and turning whirlpool. Chapter 958, Each to Their Own. The Blood Devil Charge was a secret technique that was used with the Blood Devil Sun bloodline, and it could unleash explosive force and overwhelming power. The power of using this skill was the same as using the Scarlet Jade glass body, but the weakness was that it required a lot of bloodline power. Zhao Feng had seen all of this during the 2 times where Tai Lingyun used it. While fighting, he analyzed all of this with his left eye and copied this secret technique. Ha ha ha. Apart from Xuan Yuan Wen, you are the second person amongst the younger generation for me to fight with my full strength. Tai Lingyun became excited after the shock passed. His opponent was extremely strong and had an even better bloodline than his. He hadn't had a fight like this in a long time. Who Shu tilde? After using the Blood Devil charge, Zhao Feng shot into the sky, and his scarlet-red wings left a trail of blood behind. The bright blood-colored sun behind him released a golden blood-colored light as if it was an ancient golden crow rising. Boom! Zhao Feng left behind a blood-colored sun in the air as he charged downward and summoned a wave of explosions. With this attack, Zhao Feng pushed his speed, power, and explosiveness to the maximum. Zhao Feng could feel that his explosiveness had reached another level with the use of the Blood Devil Sun charge. Even Tai Lingyun had to be wary of Zhao Feng's terrifying power. Hu tilde. A flaming dragon several dozen meters long appeared beneath Tai Lingyun's feet. The fire dragon was covered in red scales and had enormous wings. With a flap of its wings, countless flames swept toward the ground below. Tai Lingyun's aura also seemed to become stronger as he stood on the fire dragon, as if he could borrow the power of the draconic fire within this fire dragon's body. Boom! Hu! Tai Lingyun rode the fire dragon and charged into the sky. Boom tilde! Two blood-red colored lights clashed once more. Shu tilde! Several scarlet-red lights shot out in every direction before a storm of lightning and fire formed and shook the air itself. If you want to fight in the air, then I'll fight you in the air. After this clash, Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body dimmed once again, and he used the lightning wings spatial flying technique to rise into the air. He realized that, with the use of the Blood Devil charge, it wasn't just his bloodline power that became more explosive, all attributes of the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline became stronger. In the instant just now, he had absorbed 3 times more energy and blood essence from Tai Lingyun's body than before, allowing him to lower the energy expenditure of using the Blood Devil Sun charge. At the same time, his ignition effect became more obvious. Lightning wings spatial flash. The instant the Blood Devil charge ended, Zhao Feng used his flying technique and charged downward. Ding! Ding! Bam! Instead of fighting just above the ground, they now fought high in the air. It was as if this was a battle between a golden crow and a fire dragon. A brilliant blood-colored light covered the entire sky. Boom! Hu tilde! Zhao Feng used the Blood Devil charge again and smashed into Tai Lingyun. Although Tai Lingyun was standing on top of the fire dragon and could borrow its power and its tough defenses, he lost speed and agility. All he could do was defend. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's scarlet wings of lightning wings flying technique, and lightning wings spatial flash only made him more agile. With the help of the Blood Devil Sun bloodline, his speed was pushed to the max. Speed could increase explosiveness, and explosiveness could increase speed. Zhao Feng's each and every attack came from above. He would occasionally switch between the lightning wings spatial flash and the Blood Devil charge. After clashing, he would immediately retreat, then prepare to propel downward again. Like this, he controlled the flow. So strong. Zhao Feng has turned the tide and become the one with the initiative. Shi Yulai was stunned and started to admire Zhao Feng. If he was the one fighting Tai Lingyun instead, all he could do was stand there and get beaten. However, from the looks of it, Tai Lingyun was the one on the defensive right now. The only other person in the younger generation he thought of that could do this was Sun Wuheng. Zhao Feng is training his bloodline power. Old Ying faintly nodded his head and understood why Zhao Feng didn't use his eye bloodline techniques. He could feel that Zhao Feng's usage of the Blood Devil Sun bloodline was becoming more controlled and experienced. The energy he used also decreased. If Zhao Feng could learn the bloodline secret technique of the Tai family, it wouldn't be hard for him to see how else Tai Lingyun used his bloodline. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's battle instincts were extremely astute. This will be bad if it continues. Tai Yunuo's eyes watched all of this. Zhao Feng's wings of lightning and other secret techniques made him too agile and fast. Tai Lingyun was borrowing the power of the fire dragon, but he wasn't able to gain the advantage and could only go on the defensive. While there were no signs of him losing quite yet, Tai Lingyun's scarlet jade glass body was reaching its limit. On the other side, while Zhao Feng could use the lifesteal ability, it wasn't enough to replenish all the yuan qi he was using. If this continued, the winner would be decided by which could last longer, Zhao Feng's yuan qi or Tai Lingyun's scarlet jade glass body. Those watching this fiery fight between bloodlines from below felt their battle intent awakening. Ding! Bam! Tai Lingyun clashed against Zhao Feng once more and felt a strong eruptive force. No one knew how frustrated he felt. Zhao Feng's attacks were extremely weird. Every time they exchanged blows, Tai Lingyun felt as if he couldn't use his full power. It was as if Zhao Feng's attacks all went for his weaknesses. What strong True Yuan? This was the second thing that Tai Lingyun felt. From the start, Zhao Feng had maintained the sacred lightning body and his flying techniques. Even if the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline could absorb energy from the opponent and replenish Zhao Feng's True Yuan, a normal king's True Yuan should have been completely used up long ago. However, what he didn't know was that Zhao Feng had made his foundation extremely strong, and he had suppressed his cultivation in order to consolidate the quality of his True Yuan. The 5-elemental wind lightning technique was extremely unique, and it increased the quality of Zhao Feng's True Yuan. Even some emperor's True Yuan wasn't as refined as his. Ding. Ding. Bam. Tai Lingyun's scarlet jade glass body released another surge of power, but the fire dragon below him was starting to become tired. His scarlet jade glass body was also reaching its limit, and if he continued to maintain it, his bloodline would be injured. Tai Lingyun's eyes became calm as he awaited the chance to unleash all his power at once. Boom. After several blows, the desolate ground suddenly started to shake. Crack. A certain point in the air of the little world suddenly shattered. The power of the little world started to become chaotic, and a destructive storm was starting to form. Not good. This little world has been heavily affected by the battle and is about to shatter. A quasi-sacred lord from Tai Yunuo's side exclaimed. The exchanges between Zhao Feng and Tai Lingyun are too concentrated on one place, so they have heavily destroyed the structure of the little world. Little worlds were normally pretty stable, and Old Ying soon found the reason why this was happening. They're really going to keep on fighting? Shi Yulai was surprised. The little world was about to shatter. If this continued, they would both be in serious danger. Boom. Hu tilde. A fiery aura that covered heaven and earth charged toward the place where Zhao Feng and Tai Lingyun were fighting, and a surge of flames covered them. The Blood Devil Sun bloodline wasn't exactly suited for prolonged battle. They were both at their limits and couldn't fight back against the Blood Devil Sun bloodline of a sacred lord. Who? Tai Lingyun's scarlet jade glass body was instantly suppressed. Let us end here. I will give my dragon jade to you. Tai Yunuo threw his dragon jade over and gave a deep glance at Zhao Feng before taking Tai Lingyun and the other two members into the crack of the little world. Elder Yunuo, can you tell how much True Yuan Zhao Feng has left? Tai Lingyun was slightly unwilling. This fight had been much more difficult than what he first imagined. Zhao Feng's every aspect had surpassed his imagination. He could also tell that the victor would have been decided based on which lasted longer, his scarlet jade glass body or the amount of Zhao Feng's True Yuan. No, but you've already given it your all while he has conserved a lot of his strength. Tai Yunuo faintly shook his head. He sensed that Zhao Feng was on guard against him, but still very calm. It was as if Zhao Feng had the confidence to stop him if he decided to attack. Tai Lingyun wanted to retort but was stopped. You do know he has an eye bloodline, right? Elder Tai Yunuo's voice sounded in Tai Lingyun's mind. The battle had felt so good that Tai Lingyun forgot that Zhao Feng had an eye bloodline no weaker than the perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. However, your bloodline seems to have awakened even more after this fight. Tai Yunuo led this group and disappeared from the little world. Let's go. Zhao Feng exclaimed as he caught the bright dragon jade and charged out from another crack. At the same time, Old Ying also exited. There were no signs of Tai Yunuo's group when everyone returned to the forest. Ninth Prince. Zhao Feng handed over the dragon jade. Brother Zhao. The ninth prince's hands were trembling. Although he had taken the dragon jades of many members after entering this place, this was the first time he felt like the dragon jade was so heavy. Let's rest here for a while, Old Ying suggested as he looked at Zhao Feng. After all, Zhao Feng would be the main force in the upcoming activities, and they would need him to find Yao beasts and increase the strength of his beast horde. All of this wouldn't work if Zhao Feng was heavily injured. At this moment in time, Zhao Feng had become a core member whose status was only below Old Ying's. Nothing could happen to Zhao Feng. Sure. Now that everyone has gathered together, it's time to discuss what we're going to do next. Shi Yulai agreed as well. Zhao Feng's strength made him feel calm, and he even felt like the ninth prince had the ability to fight against the top 5 princes. The ninth prince's team rested for a short while in the forest. Zhao Feng knew what they were after, so he sat down without hesitation. He drank some 100 origin fruit juice and started to recover his injuries and replenish his energy. It was easy for an explosive bloodline such as the Blood Devil Sun bloodline to leave hidden injuries behind, especially after prolonged use. Zhao Feng had gained a lot from the fight with Tai Lingyun. Not only did he learn how to control and use his Blood Devil Sun bloodline properly, he had also copied the Blood Devil Charge, a perfect secret technique that utilized the Blood Devil Sun bloodline. At the same time, Zhao Feng felt that Tai Lingyun's bloodline was awakened even further because of their fight and that the latter's strength would increase by leaps and bounds. Chapter 959, Sky-Shaking Golden Ape. The Crown Prince trial is about to enter the second stage, Old Ying spoke in a serious tone. Old Ying, do you have a plan? Shi Yuli's eyes were slightly dim. The Crown Prince trial was a game to train the future Crown Prince designed by the Imperials in the Grand Imperial Hall. This game started with the very first Crown Prince trial and was perfected as time passed. The game was split into 4 stages: Gathering of Draconic Providence, Attacking the City, Clash between Princes, and the Fight for the Grand Seal. Of course, if there weren't enough participants in this game, then it wouldn't be able to continue. This was why the princes needed to recruit people. To put it another way, the recruitment was also considered a stage. After that, everyone entering the imperial tombs and conquering the inheritances to gather Draconic Providence was the first proper stage. For the Attacking the City stage, we originally would have had to rely on luck and wait for the right moment, but now I have a new plan. A flash of joy passed through Old Ying's eyes as he gave a deep glance at Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's beast-taming skills and mastery of the soul gave Old Ying confidence. The 9th Prince, Zhou Suer, and company all knew a little bit about Old Ying's plan, but Shi Yuli and Su Qingling followed Old Ying's gaze and looked thoughtfully at Zhao Feng. Could it be that Zhao Feng's beast-taming ability surpasses most Grandmaster beast-tamers? Shi Yuli couldn't help but feel shocked. He originally thought that Zhao Feng only relied on Duke Ninfeng's connections and used the Cloud Silkworm Saint Butterfly to take the position of beast-tamer, but apparently, that wasn't the case. Zhao Feng truly was a talented beast-tamer. That's right. Zhou Suer nodded her head. She had witnessed Zhao Feng's beast-taming abilities and had the right to speak. So, what we need to do next is help Zhao Feng obtain more beast packs. This will give us an advantage when attacking the city, Old Ying said. Attacking the city was the time to show the strength of a full team. Beast tamers and doctors were extremely useful here. When they both worked together, they would be able to unleash massive battle power. Su Qingling looked at Zhao Feng with a dazed look. This youth that they ignored and disliked had suddenly become a main character after a couple dozen days. When interacting with the others, she also realized that Zhao Feng's mastery of the soul wasn't simple either. We need to find power-type beasts. The 9th Prince had a joyful expression. Recruiting Zhao Feng seemed to be the most successful decision he had made so far. Apart from Zhao Feng, the other 7 talked with one another and discussed their opinions. Zhao Feng was still able to hear what everyone said while he was recovering his injuries and cultivating. Game? Attacking the city? The place that we will be attacking definitely won't be simple. If there was one side on offense, there would obviously be one side on defense. The place that they needed to fight over would definitely be unique in some way. Even the princes that had no intention of becoming the crown prince would participate. Rely on my beast-taming skills? Good. Zhao Feng was looking forward to it. He had cultivated his 10,000 divine thoughts technique to a level where he could have 1,800 thoughts at once. The current 10,000 divine thoughts technique he had wasn't complete, and Zhao Feng would only be able to cultivate up to 9,000 thoughts. As for the Duanmu family, they might not have the complete 10,000 divine thoughts technique, but even if they did have the complete version, Zhao Feng wouldn't be obtaining it from them anytime soon. Therefore, Zhao Feng had to rely on himself after reaching 9,000 thoughts. Controlling a huge number of beasts was the perfect chance for Zhao Feng to train the 10,000 divine thoughts technique. He believed that, once he reached a certain level, it wouldn't be hard for him to extrapolate the complete version on his own. Zhao Feng opened his eyes half a day later. The most serious injuries on his body had recovered, and he would be able to fully recover by relying on the wood and water of wind lightning. We can leave now. Zhao Feng let out a breath. The other 7 that were still discussing the plan all looked at Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, you've already recovered? Zhou Suer rushed over. At the beginning, she had come over to help Zhao Feng, but he declined her help. Everyone thought that they would need to stay here for another couple days, but in just half a day's time, Zhao Feng finished recovering. Indeed, he's mostly recovered. Zhou Suer closely inspected Zhao Feng and found that there were no serious or hidden injuries on Zhao Feng's body. At this instant, Zhou Suer even thought that Zhao Feng was a grandmaster doctor too. If this was really the case, Zhao Feng and the ninth prince alone would be able to form a team in the Crown Prince trial. My cultivation technique is unique and has fast recovery speed, Zhao Feng explained. Okay. Let's go then. Old Ying immediately stood up. The faster they were, the more preparations they could make. The plan had been decided already. Their target was the king of this forest, the sky-shaking golden apes. Sky-shaking golden apes didn't just have terrifying power, their defense was also extremely strong, and they were even somewhat agile. They were much more useful than some stone monsters and many others. Xi Yulai and Su Qingling looked at Zhao Feng. Sky-shaking golden apes were an impossible task for the Grandmaster Beast Tamers of the Lower Dynasty. Sky-shaking golden apes didn't live in groups, but they did have the ability to fight as a team if needed. They were chaotic and easily angered, but their will was tough. If there were no teammates specializing in battle nearby, normal beast tamers wouldn't even be able to get close to a sky-shaking golden ape, let alone tame one. Even now, they didn't believe that Zhao Feng had this ability, but Old Ying had set this as the goal, and they believed that Old Ying wouldn't wrongly estimate Zhao Feng's beast-taming skills. The sky-shaking golden apes live in the depths of this forest. The 8 walked toward the depths of the forest and met many fierce beasts hiding. However, even though they were easily angered, they didn't attack humans randomly. With Old Ying's sensing skills, the group avoided as many beast packs as they could. The center of the forest was dimly lit, and each tree would need a couple dozen people linked hand by hand to wrap around it. Boom. Boom. Huawei, go. This emperor-level sky-shaking golden ape is too strong, an elder in gray urged. A quasi-sacred lord expert charged forward with a flash of gold. In front of him was a giant ape with golden fur. Its eyes were golden red, and its enraged aura spread throughout the area. Even Huawei, who is a quasi-sacred lord expert that specialized in body strengthening, didn't dare to fight against it head-on. He had to rely on his ability to attract its attention and let the other members of his group damage it. Boom. 2 emperors released a surge of ice and fire that landed on the sky-shaking golden ape's back. Whoosh. On the other side, an old granny that stood on a tree shot out several arrows of light at the sky-shaking golden ape's head. Woo tilde. The sky-shaking golden ape roared in anger, and the fur on its body stood up. It had massive fists that contained the force of a small mountain, and it caused the air to crack as it waved them around. Boom. A giant tree was sent flying through the air. If Brother Zhu is able to tame such a powerful beast, it will be a great help to us. The eyes of a young male in golden robes on a tree far away flashed. Hee hee. 11th Prince, after we tame this sky-shaking golden ape, we can use it to tame other sky-shaking golden apes and keep on expanding our beast horde. U.P. Dated by BeoxNovel.com. Next to the 11th Prince, Zhu Long was also extremely excited. They could only tame this powerful beast by relying on a huge number of members skilled in battle. This was the first time he had seen such a strong emperor-level beast. If they were able to tame this beast and take it back to the continent zone, he could flaunt it in front of the other Grandmaster Beast Tamers. Brother Zhu better be fast. The 11th Prince was slightly impatient. Your Highness, we can't rush this. Let them put in some more effort. Zhu Long paused for a moment. Such powerful beasts couldn't be tamed unless they became truly exhausted. He could lose his life if he wasn't careful. Who is that person? Zhu Long suddenly sensed something and turned around. Several figures appeared in front of the 11th Prince. Brother 9th Prince. The 11th Prince let out a breath. The difference in strength between the lower-ranked princes wasn't very big. Furthermore, the 9th Prince's team didn't have many members. It was only because he was so personally talented and had a good personality that he was even ranked 7th. However, the 3 emperors on the 11th Prince's side that were fighting immediately called out. It's him. It's Zhao Feng. The other members of the 11th Prince's group instinctively looked at Zhao Feng. Amongst them, Zhu Long's eyes were filled with interest. At the same time, the 9th Prince's side all looked at Zhao Feng. Who knew what kind of shenanigans he had pulled when he was traveling alone with Zhou Suer? Zhao Feng, you robbed those 3 earlier, Zhou Suer warned Zhao Feng after seeing that he had no impression of them at all. When she was together with Zhao Feng, they had robbed 2 groups, the first was from the 6th Prince's team while the second was from the 11th Prince's team. May I know why Brother 9th Prince is here? The 11th Prince's expression remained the same. Those three had told him many times about what had happened. From his point of view, there was only one possibility: Zhao Feng had a treasure that could allow him to adapt to this dimension. Otherwise, even sacred lords wouldn't be as terrifying as they had described. "We're here to tame a sky-shaking golden ape as well, but we didn't expect Brother 11th Prince to be here as well." The 9th Prince told the truth, but the expressions of the 11th Prince's team instantly changed. From their perspective, the 9th Prince's tone was provoking them. Beast Tamer Julong next to the 11th Prince spun around and immediately sent the 11th Prince a message. A smile appeared on the 11th Prince's face. "Since Brother 9th Prince is here to tame the sky-shaking golden ape as well, we can team up and first suppress this sky-shaking golden ape before deciding who it belongs to." Chapter 960, Directly Taking Action. A smile appeared on the 11th Prince's face. "Since Brother 9th Prince is here to tame the sky-shaking golden ape as well, we can team up and first suppress this sky-shaking golden ape before deciding who it belongs to." Seeing that the 9th Prince didn't immediately reply, the 11th Prince started to privately talk with his subordinates. "Julong, there's no problem, right? Dated by Boxnovel. Tom. Your Highness, don't worry. They won't decline. The sky-shaking golden ape is a beast standing at the peak among emperor-level beasts. Its battle power is extremely strong, and it has a powerful intent. They'll have to spend a lot of time if they want to restrain it by themselves." Julong looked at Zhao Feng. According to what he knew, Zhao Feng hadn't actually passed the test to become a Grandmaster Beast Tamer. He only relied on the Cloud Silkworm Saint Butterfly that he borrowed to become the Beast Tamer on the 9th Prince's team. Therefore, after they suppressed this sky-shaking golden ape, he would suggest a battle between beast tamers to decide who the sky-shaking golden ape went to. He wouldn't make the same mistake that Grandmaster Beast Tamer Liang Sang had made by deciding the victor with spiritual pets. "Brother 11th Prince, we want this sky-shaking golden ape," the 9th Prince's voice suddenly sounded. "What?" Julong paused. He didn't expect the 9th Prince's team to reject them. No matter how one looked at them, their team was relatively weak. Only Old Ying and Shi Yulai had any true battle power. Why would they reject them? And in such an arrogant and forceful manner? "Brother 9th Prince, neither of us will become the Crown Prince, so there's no need for us to fight. Why don't we team up and fight against the 7th or 8th Prince? We still might be able to obtain some benefits from the Heaven's Legacy City." The 11th Prince's face was green. The 9th Prince's actions today were different from normal. He was extremely forceful. "11th Prince, you have two choices: leave now, or lose all your draconic providence and then leave." Old Ying stood forward, and his tone was even more decisive. Hearing this, the 9th Prince's team felt extremely satisfied. "Humph. Brother 9th Prince, you're too confident." Although the 11th Prince's overall strength was only ranked 9th, the power of his team was definitely not weaker than the 9th Prince. At the same time, the members of the 11th Prince's team felt something was wrong, and they started to direct the sky-shaking golden ape toward the 9th Prince. "Too much nonsense." Shi Yulai roared as he charged out. A dark yellow light glittered around his body, and part of his body instantly petrified. Other parts became metallic, and an invisible surge of physical power rose into the sky. Old Ying, Zhao Feng, and others who could fight immediately followed behind. The 9th Prince's team was about to attack. If they were scared of the mere 11th Prince, how were they going to face the 8th, 7th, or 4th Prince? The 11th Prince's heart jumped, and he didn't know what to do. The 9th Prince's team was acting way too differently from normal. They were going to attack. "11th Prince, don't rush. Let them witness the beasts of the Imperial Tombs." Julong was enraged and opened his spiritual pet bag. A chaotic horror instantly appeared in the forest. Close to 100 purple-striped black leopards surrounded Julong and the 11th Prince. "Eh? A beast pack?" Zhao Feng looked at the purple-striped black leopard king. It wasn't hard to tell that Julong had enslaved the purple-striped black leopard king in order to control the entire beast pack. A faint smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face as a purple-golden ripple sparkled from his left eye, and a strong surge of bloodline power shot out. In the next instant, a scarlet-red light flashed in the purple-striped black leopard king's eyes, and its face started to contort in pain. "What's going on? Purple-striped black leopard king." Julong's expression changed dramatically. The purple-striped black leopard king's personality suddenly changed, and his connection with it was fading. Wu tilde. The purple-striped black leopard king escaped Zhulong's control and turned into a dark figure that suddenly charged at Zhulong, who was closest to it. At the same time, Zhulong lost control of the entire purple-striped black leopard beast pack. When the purple-striped black leopard king attacked Zhulong and company, the other purple-striped black leopards all started to follow. Grandmaster Zhu, what's going on? The 11th prince was filled with fear and immediately roared. The two of them were at the very center of the purple-striped black leopard pack, and after they lost control of it, the purple-striped black leopards leapt toward them. The 11th prince and Zhulong were filled with fear and panic as they faced the entire purple-striped black leopard pack. Hu tilde. The other members of the 11th prince's team instantly went to his side. Hu Wahui punched out a golden fist containing extreme power and forced back the purple-striped black leopard king, while the other members all radiated a strong pressure and blocked the other incoming leopards. Your Highness, don't worry. I'll be able to regain control of the purple-striped black leopard king very soon. Zhulong's face went red as he tried many ways to comfort and communicate with the purple-striped black leopard king. Grandmaster Zhulong, watch out! The elder in grey exclaimed and thrust out a palm that blocked Old Ying and company's attacks. Humph! Shi Yulai, your opponent is me. Hu Wahui charged at Shi Yulai. While the 11th prince's team broke into chaos. Who? A pair of scarlet wings of lightning spread behind Zhao Feng's back. Whoosh! Zhao Feng didn't care about the 11th prince or the purple-striped black leopard pack. He turned into a bolt of scarlet lightning and sped toward the sky-shaking golden ape. Sacred lightning dominating body. A golden blue lightning appeared around Zhao Feng's body as he charged at the sky-shaking golden ape like a miniature mountain of golden lightning. Wind lightning eye flame. Zhao Feng's left eye glowed with purple and gold as the faint symbols of God tribulation lightning flashed and released a strong surge of flames. Voom tilde. A ball of half-transparent purple and gold lightning flames containing the destructive aura of God tribulation lightning exploded on the sky-shaking golden ape's head. Wu tilde. The already injured sky-shaking golden ape roared as Zhao Feng's attack landed on its face. Zhao Feng's wind lightning eye flame contained the power of God tribulation lightning, and it burned across its body and soul. Bam! Zhao Feng punched the sky-shaking golden ape in the face. At the same time, a dark heart seal that had already been condensed in Zhao Feng's left eye imprinted itself into the depths of the sky-shaking golden ape's soul. This process was extremely quick, it only used a couple breaths' time. What is that brat doing? He's going to challenge the sky-shaking golden ape by himself? The 11th prince's team could feel the situation between Zhao Feng and the sky-shaking golden ape while they were fighting. How is he so strong? How is this possible? Hu Wahui's expression was filled with shock. He could feel the strength of Zhao Feng's physical body even from this far away. That brat's gone crazy. Zhulong's heart jumped when he saw Zhao Feng fight with the sky-shaking golden ape. In his heart, Zhao Feng was just a sham of a beast tamer, but that battle power wasn't something that a measly king could possess. From the cries of the sky-shaking golden ape, he could tell how strong Zhao Feng's attacks were. 11th Prince, don't rush. The purple-striped black leopard king's emotions are calming down. Zhulong had used many beast-taming secret techniques to calm down the purple-striped black leopard king, and he tried to slowly communicate with it. The leopard pack was slowly calming down as well, instantly decreasing the pressure on the 11th Prince's team. Humph, you're courting death. Zhulong regained control of the purple-striped black leopard king, and he puffed out his chest as he looked at Old Ying and company as he got ready to direct the purple-striped black leopard king. However, in the next instant, boom! A loud explosion sounded from behind, and a fierce aura made the 11th Prince and company feel cold. Wu tilde. The sky-shaking golden ape roared in anger and leapt at the 11th Prince and company. Its body was like a giant mountain as it crushed over. What? That brat actually managed to tame the sky-shaking golden ape? The members of the 11th Prince's team were stunned. There was such a powerful and strong beast tamer? How is this possible? That's a sky-shaking golden ape. Zhulong just stood there, and his mind was blank. In just the couple breaths of time he used to comfort the purple-striped black leopard king, Zhao Feng successfully tamed the sky-shaking golden ape. Wu tilde. The purple-striped black leopard pack that Zhulong just regained control of looked at the approaching mountain-like sky-shaking golden ape and started to howl and run away. Boom. The sky-shaking golden ape landed in front of the 11th Prince's team. Wind of wind lightning circulated around its body as Zhao Feng stood on top of it and looked over everyone. "Hand over all your draconic providence or else I'll make you leave the imperial tombs." Zhao Feng's voice was cold. The 11th Prince's team shook, and no one fought back at this moment. The 3 emperors that Zhao Feng robbed earlier trembled in fright. "Zhao Feng, you!" The 11th Prince was enraged, and a sparkling bright piece of jade appeared in his hand. "11th Prince, wait." Zhulong immediately stopped him. "11th Prince, even if you use draconic providence to increase your battle power, the 9th Prince can do the same." The 11th Prince gritted his teeth after hearing what Zhulong said. There was nothing he could do. "Brother 9th Prince, fine." The 11th Prince threw over his pseudo-crown prince seal angrily, and the other members of the 11th Prince's team handed over their dragon jades. They hadn't gone out of their way to gather draconic providence anyways. In the center of the Imperial's tombs were 4 enormous cities made of metal, each in one of the cardinal directions. Within the cities were weird metallic buildings, forming a forest of metal. There were clock towers that reached the sky, mysterious divination towers, an elegant fountain, and all kinds of other buildings. Each city had a large number of beasts in front of the gates. At this moment in time, in front of the southern city's gates, 2 armies of beasts were fighting against each another. Ice wolves, flaming tigers, giant bears, and a horde of snakes were all present and causing chaos. Damn it, the 8th Prince's city is the weakest of the 4 cities but is already so hard to defeat. That's so unfair. They bought beasts from the Heaven's Legacy City. Several dozen people stood in front of the city gates. 2 of them were beast tamers, and they gritted their teeth as they controlled massive numbers of beasts to charge at the metallic city. "Not good, members of the Yu family have come out. It's Yu Tianao and Yu Langhua." 2 figures appeared on the walls of the city. Unparalleled battle intent. Battle intent that could scare gods and ghosts alike shot out from Yu Tianao and Elder Yu Langhua's eyes. Elder Yu Langhua was from the previous generation. A faint cold figure appeared behind both of them, and the invisible battle intent caused the air to twist. Boom. The beasts in front of the city started to howl and roar. Their eyes became filled with excitement, and they released limitless pressure. The secret technique of the Yu family is effective even on beasts.